Here we go. Oh, we're back. We're back. All right. I think we're back anyway. Welcome to the Shenanigans. I see some laughter in the chat, and that's a good thing. So looks like we are live.
Jeez.
Before we get started, we're going to thank our Patreons because I love to see the chat laughing very much, and my Patreons are a big part of them laughing for sure, I guess. And thank you guys very much for everything you do. We will also thank the YouTube members, also equally important, although we need a couple more rovers. So hopefully a big shout out to the newest rover that's going to happen tonight. We're hoping anyway. And we won't do the Adventure Club because I barely got this stream set up, let alone did any updates. So
we were rushing.
We were rushing. We
The chat, we see you in there. Andy, always a staple. Good to see you. Larry, good to see you again. Reed, AB8AS, good to see you this weekend, buddy. And let's see who else we got. Scrolling down. Bang, bang. Good to see you. Hope you get to feeling better, my friend. Always good to see you. And Kilo Oscar for November Lover. If you missed his brisket and his Boston butt here last night, you missed a lot. I'm going to tell you that right now. It was delicious. Thank you so much, Eddie. Monowar, thank you very much for joining Frequency Frontiers, KY4GM, Hiking and Hammond. Good to see you and Pink over the weekend. Always a pleasure. Charlie Whiskey Bravo, good to see you, Craig. And if I missed anybody, I'm sorry. I'm still scrolling. Thank you, everybody in the chat, for being here on this Shenanigan Sunday.
And just comment if you know, you know. And I'll tell you, myself and Dan got the pleasure of a little taste himself because he was sitting beside me and I made sure that he felt the shot of wild turkey burning your lips is what it felt like. But we were eating food.
The beans were good, Frank. If you're watching this, thank you so much. They were delicious, and I still taste them. They're awesome, buddy.
The burn was there. Hey, thank you very much, and it was great to see you, Lou. You and Pink. It keeps showing us dropping in and out. Let us know if we are dropping in and out, so we can try to correct the problem. We're running two laptops out here on a Starlink that doesn't have the greatest. So we all know that Grandpa Terry is an underwear thief.
He is.
I mean, we all know this, but he went to new lengths this trip. Like, I was literally trying to get my 2 hours of sleep. 2 hours of sleep is all I was getting. And this guy literally cuts through the back of my shorts trying to get to my underwear while I sleep. He cuts through the shorts trying to get to my underwear. I mean, what kind of ridiculous stuff is going on up here?
That's right. I shut my laptop down, so I might be a little bit slow in the chat. Maximize the bandwidth on the Starlink here. A couple of newcomers. I think, who did I see? Oh, Toby said freeze frame, so we might be having a little bit of trouble here. But we're doing the best we can. Hamradio Crusader, good to see you. And November 8th, Tango India November. Good to see you join the chat. Happy Sunday, guys.
That's right. It's great. It's great to see everybody. And a lot of the people that are in the chat right now was here this weekend or maybe are still here. We don't know. I can tell you that there were some epic things that happened this weekend.
Shenanigans, I would say.
And there were some epic shenanigans Myself and Dan actually activated with the POTA choir.
Yes, we did. Yeah.
That was a real experience, and it's just been a great weekend. Uh, and I would say, we can cover this whole Fan Fest really on this stream, because next week coming up, we got one of those QRP streams coming up, and we all know nobody's going to want to watch that anyway.
It was great to see old friends make new ones. I filled out, and I think I completed a couple people's bingo cards. If you did the POTA bingo, that was awesome to see. I was kind of getting a bingo pile up, so that was fun to do. And that was the first time I've done the POTA bingo, because I think the first year they had it was in Dayton this year.
Dayton.
And I was not at Dayton this year. Hopefully 2025 we will be in Dayton. And we had fun. That's right, Larry. The again stream. It's coming up, buddy. John, KNIV, good to see you, buddy.
Oh, yeah. This Starlink is ridiculous today, and it's not Starlink, because it's the blockage is what's doing it. But
if you've been here to Monsanto, there's lots of tree cover, here at the cabin. So we got a little gap we're shooting through, and we're making do here.
We're doing our best, guys. But it's done really well this weekend. It's just not quite enough to stream, I don't think, with this kind of block. But it's doing well. But I think the biggest seller at the Huntsville Ham Fest was the Gigapark Explorer pole.
Yes.
Them things, listen, they created a frenzy, an absolute frenzy. So shout out to them, because they created a great product, and they were sold out as far as I know.
They went quick.
I can tell you that there was also a lot of 8-track PP Man spikes sold.
Ahead and put you in an order. And I see you, Digital Rancher. Good to see you. Good to meet you this weekend. And I heard the storms kind of put a drain on a satellite. All the satellite contacts, the storms coming in, probably no bueno for that.
Yeah, so we all know I had one goal, and that was to come to Huntsville and make my first satellite contact, because I knew Digital Rancher was going to be here, and I knew that was going to be something that could happen. So he picked that task for me. And it was on Friday, and he's like, "You be here at 3:45, and we'll get this done." So I'm sitting around waiting to make this satellite pass. He comes over and says, "It's almost time. Go get your antenna." So I went to go get my antenna, and I got halfway across the parking lot, and the absolute bottom fell out of the sky, and I got absolutely soaked, and did not get to make my satellite contact, but it's coming regardless. And shout out to him. He still had some encouraging words for me on and he's still going to help me make that contact.
Sometimes you can't get away from her, so you gotta do what you gotta do, right, guys? Let's roll up here through the chat. See, yep, sorry you couldn't get it done, James. The rancher said, no problem. Like we said, next time.
Well, make what split screen, Mike? You want to here?
Yeah. So we're using one camera. You see? All right. So now we're split screen.
Here you go. QRP. Yeah. The QRP thoughts there, Mike.
That is right.
Speaking of PP Man. All right. So PP Man is QRP, which is like the ultimate bad girlfriend. So, everybody knows that I'm at a ham. And during one forum, PP Man called me 3 times during that forum. 3 times. I'm like, dude, we're not dating. You don't need to exactly where I'm at the whole time.
He says I should sit on the other side because I'm messing you up. Normally on stream we're reversed. Getting his OCD. Comment in the chat. What did y'all buy?
If you were here and did not meet me or Dan, I'd like to see that in the chat as well. So
I did let the cat out of the bag last week, and I also may have mentioned it on Hump Day Hour last Wednesday. I did make a purchase here because you cannot go to a ham fest and not buy something, right? So I did make a purchase, and I might tell you what that is later. You're just gonna have to wait and see. It's significant. Let's just put it that way.
Is that the only cat you might let out of the bag?
I did test for my extra.
Oh,
Yes.
there's a kitty.
There, kitty. I did test for my extra. The VE team. Thank you so much for the VE team that did the Huntsville. Y'all did an amazing job. I did pass. Missed 2 questions, and we also had somebody else that went from nothing to a general class, all in one testing session. So congratulations to them as well. And it's all about POTA. The POTA family is why we're getting new hams into the hobby. I think it's doing great for the ham community and introducing people to the hobby. And I think POTA has a lot to do.
Great that she went to general. I think it may have been something that she was scared to learn CW though, because I did tell her if she only passed her tech, she was going to have to learn CW to make contact with me.
That's right. Because techs do have CW privileges on 40 meters. Yes,
that's right.
That is true. There's the lover smoking POTA. And if you don't know why he's called the smoking POTA and you missed his brisket and Boston butt here at Montesano State Park over the weekend, you missed his treat. That's all I got to say. It was delicious. Thank you so much, Eddie, for putting that on. Thank you so much. Every time you cook for us, it is awesome, buddy.
So, Mike, no, this does not count for a 18 gigahertz activation, but you are in my log. So calm down. And for those who might not be in my log, I might just bust out some CW right after the stream before the late shift starts, because we can't really do 40 meters until late shift, because myself and Dan, we activated with the POTA choir last night and we get a lot of contacts, so they'd probably all be dupes. But I don't know. I'll see what the consensus is. We might just pop over there and get the people that we may have to have, but
Bang says the butt was off the chain. Yes, sir, it was. His butt is off the chain.
Yes, we had some real.
We did.
And
we did. Yes, sir. Thank you, Toby. Missed it by 2 questions and call me a perfectionist. I asked the guy. I said he said you made 48 out of 50. The first thing I asked him, I said, "Can I take it again?" And he kind of looked at me and go, "Really?"
Not what I said when I finished my extra, because after my cram session, I want to know part in testing ever again.
Right. That's right.
So shout out to Dan. 2 questions. That's pretty awesome. I'll tell you what, I'm really happy with the forums here at Huntsville, because they not only had one, but that they had 3 POTA forums here in Huntsville. And that really, really, really excites me. That, because used to be you'd be lucky if you had one beginner's forum.
Right.
And they had 3 different forums about 3 different topics. One of them was a beginner's forum, which was today, and he did an excellent job. He's been doing it for about 3 years now. And I did catch it last year, and he's doing a lot better job than he used to do. And I told him that. The other one was about Georgia Parks on the Air, which I sat through. And I'll tell you what, them boys have some excellent slides. I followed them boys, and I tell you,
Unfortunately,
unfortunately, I followed them because they had some beautiful, crisp slides. I mean, it looked all good. And I told Claude, I said, listen, I can't follow that. Your slide is all pretty, and I did mine at like 2:00 in the morning last night. How am I supposed to follow that? But then I realized I had on shorts, so I had to watch the show.
That's right.
And Claude did not. So,
right. But yeah, awesome presentations at the forum. Like you said, Georgia Parks on the Air put on one. James put on an excellent forum about roving, tips about roving. They get in and out fast for your rove, antenna management, battery management, a lot of good information. What I enjoyed, I wanted to sit in the forum today, which we went to, was beginning POTA. So that forum was geared towards people who have never done a POTA, are thinking about doing POTA, or who are very, very new at POTA. And like James said, the guy who did it has done it for the last 2 or 3 years. He did a great job. And what I enjoyed the most about it was he is basically a beginner himself. And he explains that. So it's a good way to get on that level. Sometimes when you're very, very good at something, good questions, answer them accurately. So he did a very great job. Kudos to that guy.
You know, and also kudos to him because he got a couple questions that he wasn't quite sure of, and just like he did last year, he looked to somebody else in the room that had an answer. Kind of like what I do when you guys say, "Hey, I want you to do a stream on Meshtacular," and I'm like, "Huh?"
Yeah.
You know, because when I don't know something, I'm going to bring somebody in to do that stream because I'm not going to pretend, hey, I am the ham radio guru of everything, because we all know I'm not. You know, if you ask me to do a certain POTA stream, yeah, I'm going to do it. But, you know, you ask me to do something, I'm not. And, you know, he did a real good job with that. He was referring to one of the old managers that did the logs for a couple of logging questions. And then he happened to notice me in the back of the room and gave me a big shout out, and that was really made me feel great. And Dan got butt hurt and had to go tell him he was a better hunter than me.
I did. I got butt hurt. Fart Sniffing Zebra Antennas. Go check him out today. Correct me if I'm wrong, Chris, but today might be his last day for his no, you said last week if you order something then you can get it by Huntsville. Sorry. But go check out his antennas, ko4fsz.com. He asks, how many business cards do I have left? I split my stack 50-50 with James. I know personally I have 2 left.
I'll have to count mine and see if I have any. I don't know.
You got good exposure, and hopefully
you get some good exposure,
good sales out of it.
And you know, and speaking of that, if you go over there and buy an antenna, make sure and use the code HRAG. Does not make a single dime for me, but it will save you some money. You know, because I'll tell you what, a couple of my Patreons at this Ham Fest
were crazy.
They were absolutely crazy. They went to one of the main vendors I push because, you know, I push people that I believe in.
Right.
They went to ABR Industries. the first off, the greatest coax, the only coax I'm going to use, you know, and of course you're going to have other YouTubers tell me it's going to be massive baloney or whatever they think. They have a right to an opinion. But I'm telling you right now, ABR will kill it every time. But they went over there, and I asked both of them. I said, "Did you use my code?" "No." I'm like, "Well, you just cost yourself money." So, you know,
I don't have any of the fancy ABR stuff yet with a nice colorful jacket sheath. I don't have that yet. But right over there, Chris, is one of your end feds. It's hung up. The top end of it's probably, I'd say, 60, 65 feet up. And the bottom end, I'd say, is probably 10 feet off the ground. And it's being fed by 50 feet of ABR coax.
So, yeah, you guys do this stuff all the time. You cost yourself money. Use those links because that's what they're there for. If you don't know where they are, shame on you. But all you got to do is go to hamradioadventureguide.com, and they're at the very bottom. And that'll save anybody money, not Patreons, anybody. Just go down there and use the links.
Digital Rancher said later, time to deplane. So he was listening to us on the airplane. How awesome is that? Thank you, buddy.
Hey, aeronautical viewer. Thank you very much for the aeronautical view.
Is that like /AV? Does he
It
have to
might be.
ID?
It might be.
Yeah. That is awesome.
So, well, it's looking like the internet's doing a little bit better now.
Yeah.
We ain't dropped in a couple minutes, so that's a good thing. So, have any of you guys watched any live streams or anything, and seen anything that you're curious about, or anything that we can ask some questions about? Or
and if you were here, what did you pick up here at the Hamfest?
I can tell you probably the deal of the weekend, and I don't know if you know about it or not.
I think I got it, to be honest.
You did get a really great deal, and you did save a lot of money, but I think I know a better deal than what you got. So I cannot remember the guy's name, but there was a guy in the YouTuber forum, and he was showing off this little Yaesu 2 meter, 70 centimeter radio. And I'm going to tell you, it was QRP. It was probably about this wide and a little bit longer, about that long.
Yeah.
And it even had a detachable face, not detachable to where you can run a detachable where you could take it out of your car. Kind of like the old stereo.
The old stereo, so it won't get stolen.
It won't get stolen.
I got you.
It even had that. And here's the kicker. This little radio, which really wasn't much bigger than my phone, did 50 watts on 2 meters and 30 on 70 centimeters.
Wow.
And there was a couple of YouTubers we were all looking at. We were like, cool. You want to resell? And he's like, no. Then we asked him what he gave for it. And he's like, I don't really want to talk about it.
Then the price was low.
No, really. What'd you get? He gave $20 for that radio. And he did test it at the testing station.
Unbelievable.
$20.
Unbelievable.
But now Dan did get a great steal.
I did.
Dan did get about probably
about $400.
$400 off of something.
Yeah.
And I won't let it in what that is, but that $400 amount, was on a bigger amount of purchase than, that $20 thing may have been a better deal than Dan got, even though Dan got a steal.
Yeah. And really what I saved is going to go towards stuff I need for this to make it work anyway. So, yeah.
You have to pay postage.
Terry had a question in the background. You really can't see him. Uncle Terry wants to know if I had to pay postage. No, I did not.
Postage.
Postage.
I need to change the shipping and handling on my page for my thing to postage.
That's right. Georgia Parks and Propagation.
Ron.
Good to see you, buddy. We missed you too. I did get EXO this morning. I came out early this morning right here on this very table and did a soda only activation. I only spotted on soda, not on POTA. You did get credit for both, but I only spotted on soda. And Chris actually worked me. He saw the spot come through the Discord and he worked me. So thank you very much for the contact this morning on CW, Chris.
And then Dan happened to come to the show and say, hey, thanks for the use of your back porch this morning. It's funny because I can't remember who it was. Somebody come by and said, you must have been Cabin 7, right?
Josh got me too. He just said it. Yes, you did.
And I was like, yeah, why? I was like, oh, because I went by there last night and there was like 40 trucks out there.
That was when he probably heard the choir. Yeah.
So, yeah. The choir activation was really fun. We're not going to get into a lot of details about it because even though 98% of POTA people have really, really enjoyed the POTA choir, there are always those I'm going to touch on this. Parks on the Air is not a contest. It is something that was created for people to have fun.
And spread the love.
And I've said this a million times. If you're doing POTA and you're not having fun, you're doing it wrong. So I'm going to shock the world right now. I'm going to say something, and there's two people in POTA that I complain about a lot. I complain about them a lot because they really
Whiskey Delta 4 Delta Alpha November and who else?
they really aggravate me a lot because they're absolute cheaters. I'm just going to tell you, they're absolute cheaters.
Yep.
And I can't stand it because it's a slap in the face who spend more money than it would cost them to have bought a nice home in the last. Here is what's having fun to them. Because I'm a competitive person, and being competitive, if Dan says that he can race me off this porch, he's probably going to win, right? But I'll probably race him anyway. I'll probably fall down and roll, but I'm going to race him because I'm competitive, because it's fun. And maybe being a cheater is fun to them. So I'm going to try not to complain about them anymore. But that's all I can do is try. It probably won't happen.
And since it is Shenanigans and it is Sunday and he is competitive, I'm going to go ahead and tell you the truth here. This bench we're sitting on has a little sag.
Yeah.
Okay. And I'm sitting in the middle. I'm really
myself and Dan. All right, first off, we all seen us both without hats, and we know Dan has way too much hair to be a ham.
I do.
We all seen that I had the ham body. I also have the ham body. Dan is working there.
I'm getting there.
But he's not got that ham body yet. So if he's trying to tell you that his sag is more than mine, there's something wrong. He's trying to fool y'all.
The more I hang around Eddie and his brisket and Eddie and his butt, all pun intended, the ham bod's coming, baby. That's right.
I'll tell you though, it really has. It's been a great weekend.
David Ellison has a guess in the chat of what I got. He said he thinks there's going to be another flex in Georgia. Maybe.
It could be.
Good guess.
It could,
Very good guess. It
could get.
Possibly could be true.
I can tell you it's expensive.
Yeah, it is.
It's very expensive. I can tell you that I went the whole entire weekend and did not buy nothing until technically after the show closed. And here's the really kicker thing about that. The show technically was closed when I bought the only thing I bought all weekend. But the thing I bought, I didn't even get to take home. So that tells you.
Same here.
That is true. Dan didn't get to take his thing home either.
So if anybody in the chat asks me right now to show you what I bought, I can't. I don't have it physically with me. They're gonna give it to me. Brent, Bravo Delta Whiskey, good to see you, buddy.
But I did buy something. I'll go ahead and tell you where I bought something from. I bought something from the POTA tent, and it's very, very nice. And I really look forward to doing a review on it. I've wanted one. He's been in the process of making them for a while. I had no problem forking out the cash to pay for that for them because, even though I'm going to review it, because I got to give them a shout out because all those spikes that sold, they sold for me. I mean, I may have done the legwork and told people where to get them at and stuff like that, but they were sitting at the POTA table and their sales team was pushing them. Let me tell you.
Yeah.
Curtis, KB3, Charlie Mike Tango, he actually went out and got his pole to show them how to use it and everything. Carrie, KB3 Wave would get in my backpack and put them together. So shout out to the whole POTA team for selling that stuff for me. I really appreciate it.
And like we said earlier, if you don't have yours yet, run by the Hamradio Adventure Guys website and get your own PP spike.
That's right. And that link is on the bottom of the webpage where everything else is for those Patreons who buy stuff at the Hamfest and don't use links, right?
That's right.
I wouldn't like be staring a hole at one of them or nothing, but
Mike, did you make it to Bucky's? I did not, because we come in from the other direction.
Well, I have not yet made it to Bucky's, but I was told by a little birdie that probably by the time I do my late shift this evening, there might be a piece of banana fudge being delivered. Banana fudge. You like that? Delivered to me.
Stat in order to get Bucky's delivered.
Well,
this is ridiculous.
Evidently, it has to be above the hand of the king status.
Obviously,
that's
hardcore.
That pot of royalty just didn't cut it.
It did not apparently there. I can't get Bucky's delivered. I can't even get brisket and butt catered.
That's right.
It was catered.
That's right. And a couple people laughed at me like that last night, and I had to prove them wrong. So a lot of people came up to me after the choir activation and thanked me for everything that I did and put on and stuff. And let me tell y'all, I do that to give back to the community that helps me do all this stuff, and I love that. But I told them, I said, well, thank you, because I had this catered, and they laughed when I said I had it catered, but technically I did, because I said, my chef's right over there. I said, Eddie, can you please tell everybody why you made all this brisket and butt?
Right.
He said, for you.
Right. So
I'll tell you what, man, shout out to Eddie, who I did reward. I did reward him. And, I also rewarded my person that does all my work on my webpage for me. Big shout out to Whiskey One Radio Charlie Papa this weekend. If you help me out, I try to help you out. I tried to help Dan out, but unfortunately, there's a bag sitting in West Virginia still that's got Dan's Eagle One in it.
It's fine. Terry said he's going to go back tonight and bring it, in the morning. So
and it also has Dan's surprise in it.
Yeah,
that he does not know about yet, and that he's finding out about now. He's saying yeah like he knows. Dan is being like the guy that we were sitting at.
No idea.
We were sitting and talking to somebody, and we mentioned an inside joke. I can't even remember who the guy was, and the guy's like, "Oh yeah,
I forget." Joke was, but yeah,
he just talked right through it like he knew exactly what we was talking about, and there was no way he knew because he was there.
We did have a lot of fun last night. I wanted to give a big thanks for Jerry to come out. KE4TTS. He was here. Pleasure to meet him. My first time meeting him. Pleasure to be around. All around great guy. Thank you, Jerry, for coming out and hanging out with us at the cabin last night here in Montana.
Who also is one of my Patreons, and surprised to Dan that Dan don't even know. KE4 Tango Sierra will be back tonight to activate with us once again.
Awesome.
So Jerry's a really great guy. Yeah, this weekend was the first time that I actually got to meet Jerry, even though I've got a whole lot of contacts with him.
That is true.
So it's always great to meet new Patreons, and actually, because I activated with Jerry, next month's monthly stat that number goes up again.
Oh, KD9Z. Excuse me. I got to say this correctly. Kilo Delta 9 Zulu Sierra Lima. How you doing, Jeff? Thank you for joining us on Shenanigans tonight.
That's right. And like I said, we apologize for if the stream is cutting out. I don't even know if it's blacking out on you guys like it does on us, but we apologize if it does. But it is Shenanigans. Wednesday night stream. Comments and stuff, but we're going to welcome back BP Man and Steven, and they will be talking about QRP.
So make sure between now and Wednesday, make sure you get your computer volumes adjusted so you can crank them way up.
Get them earphone amplifiers and get ready for some QRP.
Again.
You know what? BP Man was in the chat, wasn't he?
He was. I did see him.
Should we tell him that we physically laid eyes on, and I even held and extended the new POTA mask that will be available by the end of the year?
That's right. That's right. We did. We physically saw it. The extended one. Yes.
And you know, I may or may not even have footage for you, PP Man. That's not supposed to exist, but a lot of people have footage that's not supposed to exist of it.
KO4 FSZ said, thanks. I'm glad you made Steven buy a new mic. Let me tell you about my boo, Steven. That's Kilo Delta 9 Uniform Delta Victor. He didn't even own a mic now. So when he showed up here to the cabin, first time I met him, he ran to me and he jumped in my arms. And he whispered in my da 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 da. He doesn't know how to speak English anymore. So we're trying to get him. Yes, we're trying to get him back into the habit of speech for a little bit. So we're doing the best we can with him.
He's over for a second operator.
Yeah. Oh man! Did nobody buy anything here at Huntsville? I haven't seen anything run through the chat yet. Although I haven't been paying too much attention.
Yeah, neither have I. I'm watching a little bit, but it's kind of hard because we got the sun sort of shining on the laptop as well, even though it looks really shady, and it is really shady here. Compared when on the way, I'm going to tell you, setting up this stream was done with a quickness. We were at Wingstop. All we wanted was, listen, we poded for 12 hours. All we wanted was Wingstop. So anyway, we were at Wingstop with less than an hour to go to the stream, and we were about 20 some minutes away or better, and we had to hurry to get it set up. But all the way up here, I was dreading because the sun was beaming. I was like, man, we're going to do it in the cabin. It's not going to be able to be done. But luckily, my porch here is very good and shady.
I wish I had this many trees at my house.
I bet you do.
It would be nice.
I bet you do.
I wish I had a tree.
Especially like those trees that you got that antenna up in.
Wish I had a tree. Yeah. Steven was here, got me launch the NFED up into the tree with the POTA sack cannon, the sack shooter. So you got to witness that.
I will say, since it's shenanigans, we should probably talk about the biggest shenanigan of the weekend. And it's not Terry.
No,
it's really not. Even though he did try to drive through a median and kill me,
not the first time.
And even though he did try to cut my shorts off of me,
not the first time. Okay.
Even though he did have an underwear yard sale that he stole from a trailer park on the side. On stream to say this. It was by what's that guy's name? He jumps out of airplanes.
Oh, Jose.
Yeah. So
yeah.
Jose that jumps out of airplanes.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Anyway, Uncle Terry told us his name was Jose, aka Carlos.
Carlos, man.
We're sorry. We know your name's not Jose, but Uncle Terry thought it was.
It was great.
But he jumped out of an airplane, which he does many a times to make contacts. And the same bag that he always uses. So he's got different bags for different radios. The same bag he always uses for several of his radios. He jumps out of the airplane. And unfortunately, when he reached back to clip it going in, and the guy who checked his safety gear must not have checked the buckle on that, because as soon as he bails out of the airplane, that bag bails from him. That bag does not have a parachute. So, feet. And his something else goes flying out, and he has no idea. He was never in danger. He luckily, thank you. But he landed, and he go search for this stuff, and he found his stuff. But now here's the shenanigan part, and you're gonna hear me say something that you never hear me say.
Ooh.
So I'm gonna say that an ICOM handheld Must be pretty tough. Because although they were it wasn't a bag of protection, 14,000 feet is pretty good. And his radio still works today.
It does. It does. And I made the comment, can you imagine just sitting in your house watching the game on Sunday, Saturday, whenever he jumps, Saturday, I think. So he's watching college football on a Saturday. You hear a boom on your roof. You're like, no, that's just Carlos's radio. Don't worry about it.
Now I will say that because that's also his bag for his 705. That 705 fared that well.
Oh, he would have been sick.
Yeah, he'd have been real sick. But yeah, luckily it had his GPS tracker in it, for when he, parachuters got to have that way if something happens, they can locate the parachuter. And luckily his was in that bag and he was able to locate his phone and his radio and all that good stuff. But
in the rain gutter of somebody's roof, correct?
Yeah, it hit in the center of their roof and rolled down to their rain gutter. And he went out there and they wasn't home. And he asked a couple of neighbors and they got a hold of the people. The people come home. So they go out in the backyard and they look for it and they're looking everywhere. They look at the roof and all this stuff and they're not seeing anywhere. And then he follows the roof down and it rolled down into the gutter. So he took his brand new Gigaparts pole and extended it out and hooked it on a loop and pulled it down.
That is excellent.
So, and he did test a radio today and it works just fine.
Lou, that's horrible. It was a falling D-star.
That is
very
Lou,
good.
That is great.
Very.
That's the comment of the stream right there. That's falling D-star. I love it.
Oh my God.
There was a bunch of those zingers last night. I will tell you that.
Yes. Uncle Terry had a lot of one-line zingers last night. He would sit over in the corner and not say anything for about a half hour, just listening, waiting for the right time to throw out one of the Terry zingers. And then here it comes. He'd throw it out and everybody, that was good, Terry. And everybody just bust up laughing. And then another half hour of silence. And then here comes another Terry zinger.
Definitely good stuff. But I seen some interesting stuff down here, and I got some interesting video that I look forward to putting out. And I actually got to film at one point with my new camera. It's called the Dr. Pepper Cam.
That's right.
And I got to ask the age-old question, jelly or not. And if you know, you know. That's all I'm going to say about that. But
well, the Dr. Pepper Cam to me was amazing because it's like 12K.
Yeah.
I mean, the resolution is just ungodly.
I'll tell you what, I do got to say that Dom was my inspiration at one point this weekend because Steven had went out and I told him to pick up some Dr. Pepper for me. And he brought back 2 liters of Dr. Pepper. And I got to do the famous Dom pose with just 2 cup of coffees with 2 Dr. Peppers. And I sent it to Dom and I told him I was channeling my inner Dom. And we had a little conversation. And then the cool thing was everybody that was here, we all went around and got to send a video to Dom telling him, hey, hi, Dom. And we missed him, wish he was here. And, it really must have made his day because he put it out on social media. So always good to share the love with the people that we love. Because I'll tell you what, the POTA people, they're family. That's for sure. That's absolutely for sure. And they make things happen.
A lot of good faces here. I mean, speaking of the photo, the Hamley, as we call them, the Hamley that we hang around pretty much every Hamfest. You got your core group of people, and we love meeting new ones and old friends alike. So it's what it's all about, man, having fun. It's not coming to buy whatever you want to buy because you can sit at home and order stuff. You don't have to go to a Hamfest. You don't have to get up at 3 a.m. and drive 7 hours to go buy something. It's all about the people you're around. And hanging out with those people that you might see only 1, 2, or 3 times a year. So, great friends, great fun.
Yep, absolutely. And, sometimes you get encouraged to see those people even more. You might find out something that they're planning, and you might get the opportunity to jump in on seeing them an extra time just by coming to these things and associating with people. So good stuff. I do know there's a big Parks on the Air meetup in Georgia coming up in September. There's also one in Canada coming up in September. So, if you want to go to meet some new POTA people, look for these meetups and stuff. You don't got to go to a ham fest to meet them. Look for them in their natural habitat,
I know it's on the events on the A-Track Discord, the meetup in Georgia. EXO, if you're still in the chat, Chris, drop the dates for that. I think it's that Little Okmulgee. And but somebody will verify that because I don't have it right here in front of me. But I know the event is in our Discord already. So
that sounds right to me too. All right. Well, we are coming up on the top of the hour. So if anybody does have any questions about the show or anything, now would be your time because you know what? So are you going to do a reveal video?
I probably will. Yeah.
Okay.
Like a total unboxing.
A total that would be cool.
Very slowly too. When I take, if it has plastic on it, I'll do it really slowly, like an ASMR unboxing. What do you think?
Can I be in the background and do the ASMR for you?
Absolutely, absolutely. The wind's starting to pick up. If you can't tell, so if you hear the breeze on the camera, sorry about that. It is pretty windy. The temperature is great compared to below down in Huntsville proper. It'll be 10 degrees cooler up here on the mountain.
It's one thing that's totally amazing. We left here one night, myself and Terry. We came up here and did the late shift. It was the first night we were here because we stayed in the motel. We came up here and did an activation. And we left here and it was cool and so nice up here. And the second we got off that mountain, it was muggy and miserable.
Yeah, that's true.
So these people that live up on top of this mountain, they knew what they were doing. Although the thunderstorms are pretty.
When they roll in, they roll in quick.
They're aggressive here. I will tell you that.
Yeah, we did had to cut Friday's activation a little bit short because lightning apps all over the place started going off, saying okay because the storms in here roll in pretty quick and heavy.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, Dan, we got about 10 minutes, so I'm going to go ahead and say, what you got coming up?
I don't have anything. I got next week off, and hopefully what I have purchased in Huntsville will be at my door, at my house, so I can play with it next week while I got time off.
So you're saying you got next week off, so when it comes in and you decide it's not for you, you still have a couple of days that you could drive it to West Virginia.
I have time to call Cherry and have him come down to get it and then bring it back up.
The thing is, I'll be staying for a week.
The thing is, waiting on Terry to drive.
That's a good point.
I
could ship it faster.
I'd probably rather you ship it via around the world shipping.
Long path shipping. That's long path shipping. Yeah.
Because the only time Terry drives really fast is when he's driving through a schoolyard parking lot.
That's very true.
Because, he scares me. When he goes through the schoolyard parking lot, I'm like, Terry, why are you going so fast? You never drive like this. Mm-hmm. He's like, I'm not supposed to be here.
Oh, no, I got a lot of video editing to do. I'm sure everybody has a ton of video editing to do, enough to keep me busy for probably a couple more weeks. If I did not ask you the question at Huntsville, and for those who I did ask the question to, you know what I'm talking about, and you are still here at Montesano, come by the cabin so I can ask you the question, so I can add it to my editing needs. I've got a lot of people. I don't think I missed. I mean, obviously I didn't get everybody that was here, but I think I got a good representative sample of answers.
There we go. And for myself, I'm going to try to get back on track as normal and do. I always say Monday TikTok and Tuesday short. Sometimes they get reversed.
Yeah.
But regardless, it's Monday and Tuesday is a TikTok or a short. Wednesday is a stream. Thursday is a video. And Friday is my nemesis because I always forget to do the Friday video.
Are you going to do a late shift tonight?
I don't think I'm going to.
Yeah.
That's kind of boring.
You going to activate tomorrow maybe?
I think I'll activate when I get back home.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we might just skip a late shift tonight and just not activate again until like Tuesday.
Well,
Yeah.
we could wait till Wednesday when your new stuff come in.
Yeah, so we can test it out.
So we'll probably activate on Wednesday.
Yeah.
But
Good luck to all the PZN challenge folks.
I'll tell you what. If anybody needs to get me into PZN challenge tonight, I'll turn the 2-meter on 550. Barry's smiling, of course. Uncle Barry. Have we told the Uncle Terry story on the stream?
Which one? There's plenty.
I know, but the one where the guy contacted.
Don't believe. If we have, it's been a while.
You know what? It's been a while. Let's just tell it anyways before we go, because one more Terry joke. We always got time for that. So, I recently went and did some activations with Terry, and I was over at his house, and he was because I had a little bit of time.
Activations at my house.
I went there and had some time to kill, and Terry started activating from his house, like a normal FT8 would. No, I'm kidding. But Terry went over there and he was hunting a station, and the station said, "Are you mobile?" And Terry turned around, grabbed the mic back, and said, "I'm your Uncle Terry." And no, he said, "Yeah, I'm your Uncle Terry." And I said, "Terry, he actually is mobile." "Oh, no, I'm not. I'm not mobile." For sure, 100% sure, because Frank might be on a plane somewhere.
Yeah.
But I figure one of them is supposed to be next, so you can go check them out or go check your post spots because there might be something coming. Hey, thanks everybody for hanging out with us tonight, and you guys have a good evening. 73.
See you Wednesday, guys. 7-3.